Hey everyone. Yeah, you can see right there that this is the Sonic Genesis graphic novel. In other words, this is the entire Sonic Genesis story that started after 225. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is I know Mega Beatman is doing a monthly review, if you will, I think bi-monthly or monthly review of the Genesis comic. So, or the Genesis arc. Now, what is Sonic Genesis, that you might ask? Well, Sonic Genesis was basically to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, this was actually about 5 years ago. Doesn't feel like it, but it has been. So about 5 years ago, they decided to do this. Now, they did this to incorporate it into the story arc. Now, long story short, the last major arc that we had before this was the Iron Dominion. That was the last one, and it lasted for a little over a year, combined with the Journey to the East, or West, I gotta look at the story again, side story in Sonic Universe. This lasted, the Iron Dominion arc overall lasted for about a year. Then, for the next year or so, starting at the end of 211 and into 212, starting for the next year, Ian Flynn started to focus on other stories, on trying to rebuild the world. Not like he's doing right now with the Shadow World Crisis, but he started to rebuild and redefine the characters. Mostly, Ian Flynn's #1 objective was to get Sonic and Sally back together as a couple, but as I've said before in my response video to Jawbreaker, that's my alarm, so I'm sorry about that. But like I said in my response to Jawbreaker's video, who basically was a response to mine, Ian Flynn originally wanted to rebuild Sonic and Sally's relationship. And I think he wanted to do it in a way that originally the ending for 225 was supposed to be the ending in 225 was supposed to have Sally roboticized. Now we did see Sally get roboticized at the end of 230. Now this led into basically what I called the Mecha Sally Death Egg Mark II World Tour II story arc, which ran basically from 231, or the end of 230, all the way to 247, with about 4 issues or so of Sonic Universe in there. So you're looking at nearly a year and a half of story with the Mecha Sally World Tour II Death Egg Mark II arc. So with that said, where does Sonic Genesis fit in? Sorry about that, I'm just checking on my dog outside. But anyway, where does Sonic Genesis fit in? Well, Sonic Genesis, basically, like I said, was created to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Sonic. Originally, plans, like I said, for 225's ending was for Sally to be roboticized. Instead, at the end of 225, Sally was shot and killed by a torrent gun set up by Dr. Eggman in the Death Egg. But Sally survived it. Now you might say, well, how can anybody survive a torrent gun, being shot by that? Well, basically, the long story short is Eggman came up with a plan. And this all basically started, believe it or not, about 25 issues earlier. You see, 25 issues earlier, in issue 200, Eggman, building up to 200, was slowly losing his marbles. He was slowly losing his mind. And basically couldn't stand the fact that no matter what he did, no matter how grandioso his plans were and how seemingly unstoppable his plans might be, he could never achieve his goal because Sonic would always find a way to beat him. Or Sonic, along with his friends, would always find a way to beat him. And basically, you know, like I said, this caused him to start losing his mind and his marbles until finally, in issue 200, when Sonic and him faced off and Sonic delivered the final blow, he just lost it. And according to Snively, what Sonic did was break him. Sonic literally broke Eggman. Now, between that time and towards the middle part, or towards the end of the Iron Dominion arc, Eggman was kept in basically solitary confinement. First, he was kept in a padded room in a straitjacket in Robotropolis, or Megalopolis, and then he escaped somehow, attacked the Knothole Kingdom, or Knothole City, New Mobotropolis, got defeated easily by Sonic and the Freedom Fighters, and then was put into a cell there. It was only in the cell that he started to slowly get his mind back in the cell, in the captivity, I should say, of the Freedom Fighters, that he slowly started to get his mind back and realized, wait a minute, every time I lose to Sonic, it's because he has a connection with the Chaos Emeralds. You know, he somehow always finds a way to win because of that connection. Although his loss in 200 had nothing to do with Chaos Emeralds. But he came to realize that Sonic always beats him because he has some kind of connection with the Chaos Emeralds. So basically, Eggman regains his sanity, escapes, along with Snively, after the Iron Dominion starts to fall, the control over New Mobotropolis, I should say, and everything, and the Eggman Empire starts to fall. And basically he starts planning on getting his revenge. Just checking on my dog, she's sunning out there. But like I say, he starts planning from the issue he gains his sanity and escapes to getting his revenge. And this is built up through several issues. This is built up and up and up, until finally we get to around the 200 mark. Well, not 200 mark, but I would say the 221, 220 mark. 221, I should say. And more of the pieces start to fall into place. And then it's around 222, and mostly around 223, 224, that we start seeing what's going on, and then that's where 225 comes in, and Eggman's plan is revealed. Basically, his plan is to use a rebuilt Death Egg, a repaired and rebuilt Death Egg, Mark II as he calls it, to, along with the power of a Chaos Emerald, to basically rewrite the world in his image. And that's mainly where Sonic Genesis comes in. Basically, this was all part in continuity, in storyline continuity, of Eggman trying to rewrite the world in his image. Basically, the plan from the storyline perspective was, for the character, was he was going to rewrite the world, erase the world, or rewrite it in his image, the way he wants it, and hopefully wipe out Sonic and his friends at the same time, so he would have a world without them. But that didn't happen, and that's how Sally was able to survive, because she was basically revived because of the Genesis wave. So, long story short, that's exactly what this graphic novel is. Now, what's unique about this the Sonic Genesis graphic novel, is it actually begins with the last couple of pages of Sonic 225. Yeah, it does. It actually starts with the last few pages of Sonic 225, and then we get into the Sonic Genesis story itself. But then, that's not all. We get the ending, like I said, of Sonic 225 here. We get the prologue, basically, as it's called. We get the prologue, which is basically one step forward. And that's basically the last few pages of 225, which is right here. These are the last few pages of 225. Basically the last 6 pages. And then we get into the Sonic Genesis story arc that ran from 226 to 229, but that's not all. We also get the epilogue story of 230, in which we see at the end Sally sacrificing herself to save the planet by having the global roboticizer being, the Death Days roboticizer, global roboticizer being redirected at her location, knowing that she's going to basically get roboticized. Now, if you haven't read Sonic Genesis, basically, just like you read with the Countdown to Chaos deal, everybody's mind has been completely wiped clean. They don't know, Sally doesn't know Sonic, Rotor's known as Boomer. They're just getting to know each other. But what's funny about this, and I know some fans would complain about it, is Sally and Sonic are the ones that start getting the memories back slowly. They start to recall things more than the others. They're the only two that do. The reason being is because they were at the epicenter when this all happened. So, again, long story short, they regain the memories. Sonic is able to reverse things, get things back to normal, is able to prevent Sally from being shot this time by the torrent gun, but it cannot save her or stop her or prevent her from sacrificing herself to the global roboticizer. And that's basically what Sonic Genesis is about, especially the graphic novel. The graphic novel was essentially is basically a collection of the last 6 pages of 225 to give you a gist of what we were in store with or for. It had the entire Sonic Genesis arc, as well as the epilogue issue from 230, and that's what led us into the Mecha Sally arc that ran from basically the end of 230 to 247. So overall, if you can't get your hands on the actual issues of that were part of the Sonic Genesis, especially 225 and 230, get this. This will fill you in right off the bat. It will. It will definitely fill you in. I mean, I like the fact that with these graphic novels, mostly this one, when it's containing one story arc, I like the fact that they give you sort of a prologue, like they did here with the last 6 pages of 225, and they call it One Step Forward. I like that they give you the prologue, and I also like the fact that they give you the ending, as they give you the epilogue as well, even though, like many fans, I didn't like the ending of it. So, overall, I like what they did with the Sonic Genesis graphic novel, and I highly recommend picking it up. So that's all I'm going to say on this overview review of the Sonic Genesis graphic novel. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I am out.